can see the bus stop without signs of what kind of village it is, and also they took all the signs from the highway. So here normally there would be directions to Kyiv, to other locations. So all the signs are taken out. And but what I wanted to tell, and that's for me very nice to see in the country, government made quite a lot of good steps as to me. Instead of taking even more taxes from people, instead of making even more strict controls, government went for quite a lot of liberalization steps. For example, there are no taxes on fuel. So now, when in the whole world the prices are going up, Ukrainian government cancelled VAT, cancelled excess tax on fuel, and you can tank here for like around $1 per liter of gasoline or of diesel. Well, it is now in short supply because of bombings from Russia on the big oil stations and storage facilities. But government made it more easy for people, for regular people, for business to buy fuel in order not to freeze money. Also, what you see, a lot of cars are damaged because of the bombardments, because of during evacuation, a lot of cars were destroyed, damaged. Every day you hear about explosions and many cars destroyed again or heavily damaged. So what government made now, you can import cars without import duty, without VAT payment, which makes cars also much cheaper when you are taking them into Ukraine. So you see a lot of microbuses driving into the country now to support the country, to support transportations, to evacuate people. This week we are also waiting. Yesterday my nephew from United States and two of his friends, they arrived to Poland, and now as we're speaking they should be flying to the Netherlands, and they will try to buy their 2 vehicles, and they will try to drive with those to Ukraine, across the border, to support us in transport, because now the transport is needed for daily operations of Zealandia, and we still continue and distribution of bread, which we are baking, but also distribution of humanitarian aid. And we're speaking also about now maybe some vehicle for transportation of people, because people still need evacuation, especially from the eastern parts. And a lot of those friends of ours, brothers and sisters, who were actually sacrificing their life and driving to eastern parts, they are also exhausted, because some of them already for 40 days they live in the microbuses. They are sleeping every night in different locations, sometimes in church, sometimes at home, sometimes just in the car, trying to rescue people. And we are driving now back to our place, and here you can see again the bus stops without signs. You can see all the signs are taken out from the road in order to disorient Russian troops in case they will decide to send here troops by helicopters or airplanes and parachuting. Then it will be a bit more difficult to orient, and as the closer we are getting to Kyiv, the more you see signs of the war. You see all the bridges very well protected by military people. We are already going through some block posts. There are some more checks, and at the same time the spirit of people is good, is positive. People that we saw, it is amazing how united Ukrainians became, how much support east of Ukraine got from the West, in food, in shelters, in support in transportation. So I'm very thankful to God for this, and we are trying to continue our ministry. Here it was obviously a sign of some town. So now we are coming to some town with unknown name now. Well, of course you can, if you have Ukrainian phone, you still can look on the GPS. So now it is working, but in case of danger, they can lay down the mobile connection, and then for the soldiers which are trying to find their way to Kyiv, it will be quite difficult. So I will try to keep you updated on the ministry. Next Monday we will have a special service, special meeting for volunteers which participated in Bake for Ukraine until now. We are crossing the bridge, and you can see the constructions which are protected. It's good. I cannot even say you which place we're in because there are no signs. So I hope I don't disclose any secrets now. And next Monday we'll have a very nice service, inviting the main guy from the firefighters, inviting the main doctor from Children's Hospital, thanking them for their ministry, but also showing to people who were physically helping Bake for Ukraine, for whom they were serving, and also thanking all those volunteers who were in the most difficult periods participating in Bake for Ukraine. Now we are speaking, and I'm getting very positive messages from some countries in Europe, speaking meetings with bakery associations, meeting with equipment suppliers. Our friends are now trying to pick up some products for future bakeries in Ukraine already. We are trying to buy some equipment, but also I'm reaching out to those of you who will have desire to help Ukraine to rebuild. Please think already now about collecting funds or buying things, buying instruments for construction. Ukraine will have to build back, and for that Ukraine will need a lot of construction materials which are mostly available, but especially the tools. So please, if God places on your heart, just take some tools which will be needed, and some small equipment to rebuild houses of people, to rebuild premises for companies, because that will be now we are also at one of the block posts, and this is slowing down the movement, but actually you can go quite easy through that. So I will keep you posted. Now we are driving more close to Kyiv. This is the place of the battle. Here from Belarus came Russian troops. You can see cars broken. We saw tank. The bridge is partially damaged, so you have to drive around because this is a dangerous part. And there are also mines still. But this was the shortest road to Kyiv, and we now chose this also. Otherwise you have to make quite a big turn around in the villages. So here you see there was some company warehouse completely destroyed. Here you see that also completely destroyed everything. Because from here, actually from the west, they were trying to approach Kyiv. So now all the cars are driving through the territory of this company. I think it was a warehouse. It was kind of logistics center, and now it is completely just pieces of metal. You see how metal constructions were destroyed. Yeah. Our Peter says that it needs some reparations now. So do you see? There is completely destroyed. This was big logistics center. It's so pity to see someone was planning, building, making, and then the war came. This is of course completely destroyed. Here you see there were also some constructions now. Nothing is left. The petrol station already needs some improvements again. There was cafe also destroyed. Well, you can see the signs of the rockets here on the asphalt, but in general you can drive, and you can see in some places things are completely bombed and others are staying. That is also the irony of the war. You can be sometimes 100 meters away from heavy bombardments and you can be safe, and that's how our family felt it, that everything around was burning, but we were safe. Here, unfortunately, someone lost house, and again, some parts of this village are okay, but then some houses are completely destroyed. The car is driving through, it's a bit of slalom, so you have to drive carefully, because there are tanks also around. We see burned. We see other military vehicles on the sides. It's not easy to show, but so you can see that here you had really battle. This was battle for Kyiv, but this is from the other side of Kyiv, from where we live, because we live from the east of Kyiv, and here this was the part from west of Kyiv, and yeah, the asphalt got some damages. You can see that there were tanks battle here around. This was a house of someone. Here also this is the place of battles. Here we are driving already. It's interesting that quite a big pieces are quite okay, and then again you can see that there was a place of battle, and then you see the burned tanks, then you see houses damaged, because we were driving and we saw several warehouses quite okay, not damaged. So now I will see we're slowing down. The same, our children are making a song about Ukraine. Happy that at least in this area it became more safe. There you see, I think it was not a tank, it was some, well, military machine. And here you can see big holes from artillery on the road, so obviously they were meeting Russian troops. Here also big holes. We are really close to Kyiv, so this is already the place where they were coming. Here you can see the signs of shellings, signs of shootings here, and then the house is quite destroyed. And here you can see, look this. This was, yeah, it was a nice restaurant before. And here you can see a lot. This is really now a place. You can see how much was bombed and damaged here. So here there were heavy bombardments, or it was a battlefield in fact. So now we're trying to, here the complete road is damaged, and you can see how much it is here. You even cannot recognize what it was afterwards. Tanks, cars, trucks. There's a sign on the car that it is full of mines, so not to touch it. Here was very nice restaurant also. It was damaged. Well, since that it didn't burn, now we're driving also, we're just in an area where there was quite heavy battle, and now we're driving to Born Clinic. This was a private Born Clinic where people were coming, and you can see it was just shot. So this used to be a Born Clinic, a nice one. Here you can see also some damaged houses, destroyed houses. And the bridge was completely destroyed, so I think that they moved already out, because before it was blocking the road. And already from here it's like 10 minutes drive to Kyiv. So that's how close it went from the west of Kyiv. Still here, you have to be careful driving, because then suddenly there are big holes after some rockets or some grad on the road, and life continues again.